Hi, this video is to explain and address all of the requirements Google asked to approve our app. So first, I'll start by addressing the fact that we have to add notes at the email notes at Jamy to the event in Google Calendar so the app generates the summary. So I'm just gonna go ahead and create a test event here. So test Jamy. This is in my workspace Google account, and we'll add notes at Jamy. Let's put a time to that, and we'll say it starts at 11:50. Let's say. Okay. So yeah, now that that's done, let's send invite. Okay. So that was the first thing you addressed. The other part was you asked me to log in into my project so you can see that the client ID is clearly visible, and also how to request an OAuth token. So let's go ahead and do that. So as you can see, to log in into the general app, you just have to go to this URL, app.jamy.ai. And now we're going to start the configuration or the setup. And as it clearly says here, the first step is to connect my Google account so we can access Google Meet meetings, retrieve recordings from Google Drive, and access Google Calendar events. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. So as you can see here, I'm clearly stating the permissions and scopes that we're asking the user from their Google account. So we're gonna give those permissions. And again, as you can see here, let's make this larger. You can clearly see my client ID here. So here is the client ID as you requested. You can see it. And so let's choose an account, which is the account that I am using right now, which is this one. So you already saw my client ID. Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and give the permissions. We already did that, and as you can see here, it is acknowledging that I already created the Meet user, which is what we call the user that will have access to the Google Calendar. So that was the other request that you mentioned. And now I'm gonna go ahead and show you how my project uses the scopes that we just requested. So we're generally requesting two scopes, the auth drive and access to the calendar events. So we don't necessarily use all functionalities of the auth drive. Specifically, what we use is access to the Google Drive, so we can create a webhook that let us know when a Google Meet recording is added to the Meet recording Google folder on the user's account. And when we know that a new recording was added, we access the Google Drive to download that file. After that, we access the Google Calendar of the customer to compare the name of the Meet recording, which is the name of the Google event, and get the Google Calendar event from the Google Calendar so we can access the participants of that event and send a transcription and summary of the Meet recording to that participant list. So that's specifically what we use the scope for. So create a webhook on the Meet recording folder. If there is not a Meet recording folder yet, we create the folder. Then we retrieve files from the Meet recording folder and download them. Then we access the Google Calendar so we can retrieve the event and get the participants list and send the transcript and summary to that participant list. That's specifically what we do.